Alright, Edward, so let's see, what tools are you going to be using to install these door cards? So we've got an 8mm socket, 10mm socket, bit screwdriver, Phillips head, large and small, and it appears to be a 3mm?
Yeah.
3mm hex. Alright, Edward, let's go ahead and pull this door card off. So once you remove the factory door card, you gotta disconnect the switch harness from the window switches.
Probably just done the other way.
Alright, once you get the factory switch assembly off, set it aside. You're gonna be needing this later. Alright, are there any areas that we need to take a look at while the door panel's off?
Yeah, so everything, if the OEM plastic covering is still on, be sure to remove that, clean off any residue that you might want to remove.
Okay, so that's the clear cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
The clear plastic cover. And it's usually held on by an adhesive around the outside. It's really, really gooey, really sticky. So try and get it off as best as you can. And alright, so what's the next step?
Everything else, so take out anything that might protrude from the door. So you have your auto power window amp, you need to remove this. Remove the plastic portion of the door handle, and then the entire speaker assembly.
Okay.
You'll be saving the speaker, but removing this OEM plastic mount.
Alright.
Alright, so using the smaller Phillips head bit, go ahead and remove your speaker from the OEM mount.
So once you remove the factory handle assembly, you're going to need to remove the metal rods, the linkages. So they should slide right out. And these linkages are going to need to be fed through our door card. Alright, so at this point, this is everything that you should have removed. On the left side, we have the factory speaker housing, the window amplifier, your speaker, and the factory door handle assembly, and all of the hardware on the bottom. So, which one do we need to keep, Edward?
So we need to keep this one for the door handle, and about 4 of these are good to reuse to mount your speaker to the door card.
Okay. And then do we still need the factory speaker housing?
The factory speaker housing can go, and the power window amp, if you choose to keep it for automatic switches, would have to be relocated elsewhere.
Okay. Alright, one quick thing to note while Edward gets the door card assembly ready. This piece here, which is the auto, let me see if you can see it. This amp for the auto power windows, you can remove this and the factory power windows will still go up and down, but you will lose the automatic roll down function of the windows. So if that's not a big deal for you, you can just remove it completely and everything will work fine. If you still want to retain that, you've got to figure out a way to relocate this inside the door. Alright, Edward is now going to relocate the factory window amp. So using double-sided tape, he's going to apply it to the amplifier and then stick it on the inside of the door frame. There's a couple areas to note. The factory harness is fastened to the door in a couple locations. So just like so, you're going to have to remove them and then you're going to drop the harness inside here. So Edward is now assembling the factory door switch assembly to the door card. He's using 4 button head screws and 4 nuts. Alright, the next step would be to attach our door handle to our door card. It's going to be using 4 button head cap screws and 4 nuts. Once the factory door switch assembly and the door handle is attached to the door card, this is what it should look like. So the next step at this point would be to reconnect the power harness for the window switch assembly. Once that's on, you're going to feed the linkage rods through the hole on the door card, like so, and then hook the top lip over the edge of the door. May require some force to push down on it. It's a very tight fit. What's the next step, Edward?
So we're going to reattach your factory handle and lock using linkages.
Okay.
Just tuck them back in the holes as they were.
Is there a specific order? Which one needs to go on top, bottom?
Typically fine if doing the lock first. It makes it a bit easier.
Okay, so do the lock first.
So make sure they still function properly.
Alright. And then once it's in place, it's just 1 screw that secures it to the door panel. Step would be to attach your speaker if you plan on running one.
Yeah, I left my DVDs out. I left my reading out. I was like easy, so I was proud. Everything else, I got them like blueprint.
Yeah, the ones that you removed from the door actually work pretty well mounted.
Okay. The factory screws I used to secure this piece to the door are the perfect size to hold your speaker to our door card. Once everything's fully installed, you can finally go ahead and just clean it. A little bit of soap and water and a microfiber will get all of the fingerprints and smudges off. Alright, here's a real quick look at the passenger side. The passenger side has a 3D printed housing, which is this part here, and it's what adapts the factory switch assembly to our door card and maintains a symmetrical look for both sides. Alright, this is what it should look like fully installed. You're going to want to test the window switch assembly to make sure it goes up and down. Here you can see it all work. That's a wrap. Shout out to VA Who for letting us do this video on his S14. Thank you, thank you.